Yeah, I'm just trying to identify where and why this glass is leaking from. Oh, well. Moving on.
If there was a location where I thought that would be going on right now, 100% I would have thought that would be my house. Not like it's just you and Sam there. Like, how do you have a glass that just randomly leaks?
I don't know. It's once upon a time it was like a mason jar, and it is. I don't know.
Those are also supposed to be fairly reliable.
Yeah, well, when you put them through the dishwasher 45,000 times, they are less so.
Mason jar's the Toyota of alcohol, isn't it? Or alcohol consumption.
Alcohol consumption. Yeah. Okay. Jesus. All right. Let's do this.
All right. Welcome to the Off the Road Again podcast. My name is Chris.
My name is Ross.
My name is Andrew. Hello.
Hi, Andrew.
This is our podcast about anything and everything off-road, and Ross continually forgets that I say something else. But now it's on video so everyone can see that you messed it up.
Yep. Public shaming.
As always, we're continually social distancing. We did it before it was mandated. I'm in the Midwest. Ross is in the Northeast, and Andrew's in California again?
Yes, sir.
Still?
Yep.
You SoCal?
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Okay.
I feel like everybody we talk to is.
Yeah, well,
oh, really?
I mean,
a lot of car people down here.
just a few. Just a few. So wait, Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, and I think once upon a time we had an exchange about this, but you're from New York, right?
I'm actually from the Boston area. Lived in New York for a while, but
Okay.
I kind of been all over the place living-wise.
Where in New York were you?
Lived like 80 miles north of NYC near an area called Poughkeepsie that like some people might know.
I went to school in New
Hudson Valley.
Paltz. Yeah.
Oh, right on, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really close to that.
Very. I spent quite a bit of, the Chance. You ever been to the Chance in Poughkeepsie?
No.
Okay.
Not familiar.
Divey little
Okay.
theater for, metal shows.
Cool.
But yeah,
Oh,
Poughkeepsie's
sorry, I
cool.
missed it. Yeah, it's not too bad. I lived in just like a cabin in the woods that I rented for my grandmother for a while when I was between jobs.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so it was
That
kind of
sounds delightful right now.
yeah, it would be now. Yeah, it'd be awesome right now.
Cabin in the woods is also not how most people would describe the general idea of Poughkeepsie.
Well, yeah,
For those in the know.
I wasn't in like the city of. I was just like the closest. It was actually a hamlet called a Wikipe near Poughkeepsie, but
Yep.
most people haven't heard of that. So
No. There's so many tiny little towns in that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, Poughkeepsie's
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Poughkeepsie's
I think
cool.
the only reason I know Poughkeepsie isn't there a trail in the San Juans named Poughkeepsie? Like,
I don't know.
I think that.
Oh,
is
there's
the thing.
Poughkeepsie Gulch. I don't know, but that's
I'm not going to be able to spell
It's a-
Poughkeepsie off the top of my head.
It's a funny old word. There's that whole Hudson Valley area is full of strangely named things. It's all like
yeah.
Dutch and Native American and a kind of a mashup.
Yep.
Oh man,
So
I didn't
small
even get
world. Small
close
world.
to spelling that correctly.
Yeah, it's like yeah, there's like a GH in there somewhere. Yeah, it's wacky.
We just called it Po Town. That's where it
Okay.
started. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a Poughkeepsie Gulch trail, northeast of Telluride.
Yeah, it's a
I wonder if
gnarly
it's-
trail, isn't it?
Yeah, southeast of Ouray. Ouray. Yeah, I almost pronounced that correctly.
Anyways,
All right, Ross still
location
pronounces
discussion
no F
over.
wrong.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
okay.
That's where I lived before LA a couple years ago.
Okay.
Most
Gotcha.
All right, sweet. We have vehicle news this week. Something was revealed.
Ooh, what? I haven't been paying attention. Just kidding.
Wait a minute, dude. If you don't know anything about this, I actually have a chance as an automotive journalist. Then, if Andrew doesn't know,
I've just been playing SnowRunner all week. I haven't been working. No, go ahead. Sorry.
no, like Ford revealed the
SnowRunner looks
vehicle.
awesome.
It just wasn't the one we expected.
Well, we knew it was coming. It was just the one we weren't hoping for.
Yeah. So the F-150 got revealed,
Yes, indeed it did.
and it moved the needle just because it was actual news.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't have any strong opinions about it. It seems okay. It like looks kind of decent.
Does it look a little droopy? It looks like they
Droopy?
kind of just like melted the current truck a little bit.
Droopy.
Not that it's
Yeah.
bad. It's still a good looking truck, but
Yeah, it's fine. They ever since the 2015 the big like aluminum change, they haven't really done anything like super crazy with it. But
Mhm.
they're still selling a lot of them, so Don't need to mess
Just-
with too much.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Yeah, I get the front end is kind of a little more. It's got a little more downward slope to it. It looks like.
But I don't know. I feel like they're taking their big chance on the tech this time. So if it ain't broke with the looks, don't fuck with it too much, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm reminding myself. I'm looking at it again here.
Yeah, that's what I had to pull up a picture.
I know.
Like, I don't
Wait,
remember
what?
anything about it.
Well, they do
That's
kind
not
of blend,
good, is it?
They do kind of blend together. I mean, it's not a dramatic aesthetic departure from the current one. They made some tweaks, but it's not like on a whole different planet.
We're gonna have to identify it by we're gonna be able to say that's the previous gen based on how the LEDs because I think this is more of like an L LED on the side where before it was like a little cut in to around turn signal and back down.
So that teaser that they put out made it seem like it was going to be like crazy aggressive and extreme and have a drastic departure, and then they showed it got revealed, and I was kind of like, oh, that's not as wild as
it's a truck.
It's an F-150. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what the overlanding, crew does with all the electrification stuff and the onboard generator.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
It's pretty cool.
Generator.
Yeah.
How much is this thing going to weigh, though? Oh my god.
As much as any other full size.
Yeah. So much for the aluminum.
I mean, the aluminum probably helps a little.
Yeah, they find ways to backfill the weight.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, how many of them are fully boxed steel frames anymore?
I would think they're all box frame. All
Are
the
they?
big, the
All
main
the full
ones.
size.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Although, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure, but I think
Because
so.
I feel like that was like a selling point with Tundra when it first came out, that it was the only boxed. But I don't remember. That's so long ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tundra was
Tundra, man. Yeah.
Turns out I'm old.
You know what I was thinking about? You remember the Tundra? Remember when they did that TRD supercharged Tundra and it was like fast? It was like 500 horsepower.
My uncle had one.
Really?
Sorry,
Yes.
what?
My uncle had a supercharged Tundra, and he would do burnouts all the time. He loved that truck. Because all he would pull with it was his bass boat, which was like a feather behind that truck. And so he'd be down in the Ozarks just ripping around in that truck.
Did he do burnouts while towing the boat?
No, because that would throw rubber at his precious bass boat. And that,
Okay, fair.
like he's been a huge bass fisherman since I was a kid. And actually, like at one point, there was a trophy in his living room. I think I was like 12 at the time, and it was at least twice my height. I wasn't a very short 12-year-old. Like I'm 6'4" now, but like at 12, even like it's a good 6-7 feet tall. I was like, oh, okay.
But how did that compare to the fish?
I don't know.
I don't know shit about fishing or boats, so I'm not one to talk.
All I know is that the fish get bigger every time you tell the story. Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
we would always go fishing with them at Thanksgiving, and it was always cold. We always had to leave early. And my cousin, who was, 10, 12 years younger than me, we only ever had fun when we were moving between spots. Like we'd get to a spot, and he and I would just mess. Like my dad and he would fish. My cousin and I would just fuck around until it was time to go to the next thing, and he'd open it up and we'd be going crazy fast. And yeah,
it's like golf. The cart in between holes is the only fun part.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I can't stand golf.
No.
Start off.
Oh, no. Okay, so F-150. So other items of note. What do you guys think about the shifter that completely hides away so you can fold the center console down and use it as desk?
I don't know. It just seems like something that's gonna break. I don't.
Right.
Just put a column shifter on it.
Yes.
Or the knob. Like the knob works fine and everything else.
Yeah.
Hate the knob.
I don't know why people hate column shifters so much. It's like, even when every time we talk to people, they're like, "Oh yeah, I want the console, the shifter down in the console of my truck." I'm just like, why? The column's so easy.
Yeah.
Completely out of the way, and I mean, I had
Fine.
a couple, GM trucks with it. It was totally fine.
I haven't had a column shifter since my 03 Yukon XL.
Right.
That was the last one.
Yeah.
Is there a problem?
I think my Tundra had one. I had a 2000 Tundra with a column shifter.
Nice.
And a 95 Honda Odyssey that my mom had.
Nice.
That was a column shifter.
That is a column shifter? Oh, my God.
Hell yeah.
Dude, even my 94 Land Cruiser's down. It's down low. It's not even. I was like, I'd give anything for it to be up there. It'd be great.
Yeah, you can have a bench seat, but yeah, the center like desk thing is kind of interesting. It's I guess like they're making use of the space. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Could see myself spreading some like fast food out on there.
Exactly. They show like all the site foremen like using it for a laptop and everything, and it's like no, that's gonna be for lunch.
Yeah, there's gonna hopefully they even have like a ketchup holster. I don't look.
The only like
a little containers.
Yeah.
Considering I work at a construction company, I could.
Oh shit!
It's only going to be subs. I think that like a guy in charge of the subcontractor coming onto the job site would actually like need to do work there, and more often than not, they just go in the trailer. Like that's climate control. Like why? Why are you? And then if you're sitting there using your truck as the generator, since this thing has the crazy electrical prowess that it does, maybe I guess they just pop inside. I don't know many of them who just sit in their trucks.
I mean, at this point, like. The big three are just throwing like all ideas they can and want to at trucks, or like
what's the next gimmick?
Put a 12-inch screen in the middle and like put this giant thing in there. Yeah, it's just like
is the Ram 12 inches? Is that how big that thing is?
I think it's 12 point something. Yeah.
Jesus.
On the if you order the better one, the like nicer.
It's really nice inside the Ram though. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's a nice truck. I mean, they all are at this point.
That's true. You know what I've seen a lot of? On the GMCs now you can get that tailgate that has the indent that folds down.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of those recently.
Huh.
You remember the piece that Camille ran on that, right?
I was with him when we discovered that.
That if you have your ball in, that it will dent the piece that comes down.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, if you have a hitch hooked up and fold the tailgate down with that little detent folded, it'll just crash right into the whatever's hooked up to it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Seems like a misstep.
Yeah.
Good in concept, bad in execution.
But then like they went all out in tailgate marketing.
Yeah, man. And then Ram's got like a side opening tailgate now.
And that's 60-40, isn't it? Like
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's not perfectly even. And they had some reasoning behind that, like some bracing. No, maybe
is that what it was?
I know there's an extra brace on the inside just below where the tailgate seals, but they had a reason for that. But barn doors rule. Just saying.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if we're in Suburbans, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just need my tailgate to do one thing, like just fold flat.
That's one of the things Honda got right, like with the Ridgeline, where it swings or it drops down. Like, it's simple. It works. It
doesn't need to do anything else. I don't know. The open swing to me on a tailgate is awkward. Like,
you mean the sideways?
Yeah, like if it swings out, even like so your Montero back door, we're jumping way ahead, swings out, right?
Yeah, it opens like a door.
Like like that's a natural thing to me. But like on a tailgate, like just either all one piece swings out. I don't need the like, I got to slam this one and slam. Like I have kids, and then anything that opens extra is something else to slam your hand in. Like,
fair.
Like I'd love a Ford Transit van, but I'm getting a one big sliding door because I don't want those two doors slant. Like, which did you do the right one first or the left one first? Like, just I want eliminating all options of door closing.
On the Tahoe it had barn doors, and if you slam the wrong one first, it would like literally bounce back and almost smack you in the face.
Like a super cab where it opens two side doors. Yeah.
Okay, on the Montero though, does it open to the curb or away from the curb?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. The handle's on the left, so it opens like to the curb, I guess.
To the curb. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's more common than the alternative, which is the convenient way.
Yeah, I guess that would make more sense. Yeah, I wonder why they did it like that. That's a good question.
It's designed. It depends on where it was designed for, right? If it's designed for right-hand drive, it opens correctly, and then they imported it to the U.S.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
But like they did all of the other math to switch the driver. Like, why can't you just flip the hinges, guys? Like.
Yeah, I think my Land Rover opened that way too, but I guess that's also right-hand drive natural market. So.
That's why the Land Cruiser's the clamshell in the back.
Right.
It's the
clamshell's
lift
cool.
gate and the tailgate.
Yeah.
Clamshell is the best.
Those are good.
Okay. So really for F-150, we're all in the agreement of sweet.
Yeah, I think
They'll
it's
sell
cool.
a crap ton of them.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to driving one. I haven't seen any pictures of like a work truck spec one. You can only find the like the really fancy ones.
They're all like all the press photos that they've shown are like
Yeah.
$55,000+ trucks.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
I did like I did see the feature of that the front passenger and driver's seat will fold almost flat.
Right, for sleep mode.
Yeah. and the base actually will come up to match.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, anybody in the back is totally screwed. You got to lift the back seat up.
Yeah, right.
But if you're only two and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and it's terrible out and you're like, well, let's not pop the tent. Like it seems
could
pretty ideal to sit there and
or if you have a huge dog, you just do it in the passenger seat the whole time.
That'd be funny.
The only issue with that I can think about is it's only available on King Ranch Platinum and Limited. Like that means you're staring down really nice leather seats for the dog to ruin.
Fair. Fair.
And that's coming from the guy who takes his dog with him most days to work, and the Land Cruiser is now a dogmobile again. It's full of dog hair.
Oh well,
yeah. I just need a vacuum.
Oh man. Excuse me.
So I am excited because they do actually make the F-150 like 30 minutes up the road for me. So it's like, all right, let's get new ones. Let Mike let me drive one. It'll be all right.
Yeah, casual.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I mean, the transit plant and the F-150 plant are like next door to each other. So
just get a tour.
I've done transit tour before. Did you not see that video? Did I share that with you?
Yeah, once upon a time.
It's forever ago.
But new F-150 tour.
Is that
now you have a reason.
Dearborn, Kansas City? Isn't transit built in Kansas City? I can't remember.
Yeah, it is.
Clay
Como.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay.
That's sweet phrase, Clay Como. But you can find it on your door panels if you have an F-150 or a transit van.
Nice.
All right. Bronco reveal. We finally have a date.
You have a date.
They changed the date again, right? They keep,
again.
Yeah.
Smartly.
Not 7-Eleven or whatever it was supposed to be, whatever OJ's
It's not OJ's birthday.
Yeah.
So,
can you just imagine like the groans in the Ford corporate office when they realized it was OJ's birthday and that was like what everybody was blogging about? They're just like, damn it.
See, I fully maintain that Ford is smart enough to go like, all right, they played directly into our hands here. They figured it out. I feel like their social team, or at least their marketing team, always is one step ahead of us to just keep us talking about a vehicle they've been trying to reveal for 6 months.
Maybe. I think that might have been a misstep, but
yeah.
But who knows? Maybe it was an intentional misstep.
The world may never know.
I told the story last week on the show. I was like, it actually made real news when my local sports radio station was like, and in other news, Ford's going to debut the Bronco on OJ's birthday.
Yeah.
That's
wow, I got a lot of spread on that story.
If only SNL was still in season, that would be like that would be right there on Weekend Update.
Yeah, it's people's obsession with like the OJ Bronco connection is so like bizarre. People refuse to get over it. It's like I don't know.
It's so one-to-one. Like
people genuinely like the Bronco, that era of Bronco.
Yeah.
And that was a wide spread for that generation of Bronco too. That's like what, 80 to 90.
Yeah, it was a long run.
Mid 80s I want to say to 96. Yeah, the third gen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, those are
third gen. Yeah.
Because the second ones are 73 to 79.
That sounds about right.
You know, I used to work at a company that made parts for these things. You'd think I'd be able to remember.
My dad had a 79 Bronco, and it was brown with a white roof. And it was like yellow and orange stripes down the side. Oh, God, it's horrible looking.
I guess it depends. If you count the Bronco 2, which generation it would be.
Well, Bronco 2 is 84 to 90, but then the third generation we're thinking of is 80 to 96.
Okay, yeah.
They built the Bronco 2 until 1990?
Yeah.
God.
Those look kind of good now. There's one in my neighborhood that's like really clean. I'm just like, ooh, Bronco 2 is not so bad.
They're really small, and the size
really
is
small, yeah.
it's like a
They're
refreshing
tiny.
size because a full-size Bronco is actually huge.
Yeah. No, the Bronco 2 is like Suzuki sized almost. They're super tiny.
It's like YJ size.
It's a really good comparison,
good.
actually.
Yeah.
And if you can find a clean one, like they have they're a little different with the side windows that curve up, like kind of a Land Rover.
Yeah, the windows go up really high.
Yeah.
No, they're super cool.
Like a Ford or like a Land Rover.
I kind of almost don't want to think of it as like a normal Bronco and think of it as like,
it's its
well,
own
shit. Everybody's going to draw the Bronco Sport comparison
Right.
once that thing comes out.
Right,
But actually, I was outside work the other day, and I work in the city, and I heard something like accelerate away from a stoplight, screaming, like ripping, first gear, second gear, and I look, and it's a Bronco 2, and it's like 2 miles per hour.
Those are the best kinds of exhaust.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was utter lack of exhaust that was making the noise. But,
which for me, every time I hear that and I look up, I'm like, man, what is that? It's a freaking Kia Sorento or Kia Sportage or Kia Sorento. Like that exhaust manifold cracks every time. There's no muffler on it, basically.
Rust. Thank you, Rust.
Yeah.
So
it's an
issue. But supposedly we have a allegedly confirmed transmission for the Bronco, which is
really? The manual or a different one?
The manual, the 7-speed with the super duper low first year crawl setup, and then just like I guess 4 gears and 2 overdrives, but with a first gear crawl. So. Yeah, I don't know. 7 gears is a lot of gears,
It is. It is a lot. Too many, perhaps.
My favorite part of this is the first story I looked up says, according to Jalopnik.
Yeah.
And Andrew went, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, did I write that?
No. In your defense, Bozy wrote it.
Yeah.
Bozy wrote it. Oh.
In 2018.
But we did a recent follow-up because there was a confirmation. Now that you mention it, I remember.
Yeah.
That's going in there. But yeah. It seems like everything I've seen Bronco related so far has been pretty promising. I mean, like the leaked images, the transmission setups, it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool.
The way the tires actually fill the wheel well, the way a tire's supposed to, sorry, Subaru Crosstrek, but that one's pretty bad.
I think it has potential to be pretty freaking awesome.
It does. I'm just scared about the price. Like the more I think about it, because exactly, and there's going to be probably something comparable to like a Wrangler Unlimited or Wrangler Sport, and then as you go further and further up the options, it's eventually you get to, I guess, Raptor, Bronco Raptor.
That might be like an elaboration later. I bet they'll start there'll be a really basic one you can get for mid-30s. And then the one you want is going to be 40 and change, 42-ish.
Rubicon price, two-door Rubicon price.
Yeah, it'll be comparable to Rubicon for sure.
But
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for but it's niche vehicle,
I like shop for half that
trying
price.
To get paid.
I don't have new vehicle money.
No, same.
Hey man, you can finance something for 84 months.
Yeah.
No. No.
You could, but that doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
As Toyota as I lean, even a 4Runner for 84 months makes me nervous. 7 years.
At least their value pretty well, but yeah.
And theoretically wouldn't break in that long.
Theoretically?
Theoretically.
It'd be all right.
7 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
Longer ago than when I bought my first 4Runner. Jesus.
They're doing money's cheap now, though. I mean, the financing deals you can get are freaking crazy. I've seen a lot of 0% for so long.
That's the scary part. 0%, 6 years.
I mean, if you're good for it, it's free money basically.
Yeah, if you know you have constant income for the next 60 months.
Yeah, if there's no interest, I mean.
Right.
And actually, it's closer to 63 months because everyone's giving you 90 days for the first payment.
True.
So
Right.
That is also true.
Yeah, I'd be. I've been tempted to think about getting a loan for new cars a few times, but not often. It's too much money. Yeah.
You still have to bring like a fairly sizable down payment just to make your monthly not hurt.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. So I got to be content with my junkers. Oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of all of us process.
The best car is one that's not paid off.
What year's your Miata?
13.
Okay, so we're tied.
Yeah.
But I don't even drive the one that's a 13, so that doesn't really count.
That's fair. Well, I mean, my wife has a CX-5 that's a 19, so.
Fancy.
Fancy schmancy. Oh, man. So speaking of super extremely unbelievably expensive vehicles that'll probably be coming out soon, TRX teaser, finally.
Oh, yeah.
Hellcat Ram, which we had a great back and forth in the Hooniverse Slack channel the other day about what it's going to be called. And I hope, Chris, you're trying to find what
I am.
I said Hell Ram, and then somebody.
So you said Hell Ram. I said I like Ram Cat better. Somebody else responded with Ramataz. I don't know that I can say the next two in.
I see.
Cover your mouth, and then so like it can't get picked up.
It's the sad thing is
it froze, so it's perfect.
We'll never know.
I'm more willing to say fuck on this show than I am to say this word.
Yeah, and Chris's internet has failed us once again.
No, it's not.
I can't believe it's taken him this long to do it. Although he's back. Wait,
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
You're back.
It says it's unstable, but good Lord, no, it's not.
There we
Was
go.
that
we got
all
you
a
now.
ruse to not say what you were trying not to say?
No, I definitely. It said it was unstable for a second.
Okay.
So it's the one that came up was somebody else that said hell and then the derogatory name for a cat and lady parts. And then Ross responded with the opposite of that with derogatory name for a cat and cat.
As you can see, we're all very immature here.
And then it was Ram hella that. And then it just got actually that one is not just a name, it's a lifestyle. It was the tagline on the end of that one. So because I think he added hella, which
Hella Cat Ram. Hella Ram.
Pretty sure all of that was supposed to
It's
stay.
about time we have another Hellcat engine in something.
Is this the longest we've gone with a new Hellcat engine since the Hellcat engine came out?
I don't know.
Because we
Possibly.
we had Hellcat Challenger, then Hellcat Charger pretty quickly thereafter. And then it's definitely been longer between Hellcat Jeep.
How long before Charger to Trackhawk?
Trackhawk.
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long.
Trackhawk.
And then is the Durango SRT? No, that's not a full Hellcat motor.
I think that's just a regular Hemi, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a 6.4.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen one of those.
I see them more
The
often
SRTs
than
I see
would
quite a
like to.
bit.
Yeah, they're
really.
Yeah.
They're normally driven really aggressively around me, and I'm like, oh, there's another SRT. Like,
I actually really liked the Durango RT, but then the SRT was like too much.
Yeah.
It was
I'm okay with that. Like, it had enough power in the RT. You didn't need to go.
Yeah.
And the exhaust, I feel like
sounded
they
good.
get a lot of aftermarket exhaust, and they are loud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That Hemi is not quite.
I haven't driven a Durango, but my parents have a WK2 Grand Cherokee with the 5.7, and it's a great truck or Jeep. Everybody that's driven the Durango says it's like dynamically 5 times better.
I really liked it. The last time I drove a Durango was years ago, but I remember liking it, and then everybody making fun of me for liking it.
They're not.
But whatever.
Why?
Shit. They're goofy.
I like the idea of them. I just don't. I need more room. But that's because I became a large family. So, like, if I only had 3 kids, I could make it work. 4 kids is too much.
You have needs that most people don't.
Yes.
Sounds like a big flock.
Yeah.
I prefer gaggle, but yeah.
Gaggle.
Definitely not murder. Definitely not the murder for a large group.
Murder of
No. Don't
Times-
refer to your family as that ever
times are
in the
changing.
presence of the
You
police. No. But
Ugh.
so I think I don't see GM fighting back. I know there's been rumors of some kind of, LT4 powered Silverado or Colorado, but I don't expect that. So I think this might actually be the end of like the crazy psycho off-road pickups.
Yeah, I don't think GM's going to do something. If they did a V8 swapped Colorado, that would be freaking awesome. But they totally won't.
That's the one we talked about a couple months ago. Was it Lingenfelter's doing a V8, an
really?
LS swap into a Colorado?
Yeah,
That's cool.
they are, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
Right,
I've seen a
it's not
couple
the
of
factory.
them. And Edelbrock makes a supercharger. You can get some power out of them, but not from the factory.
No.
Not from the factory.
Alas.
So sad.
Yeah, the Colorado is pretty slow out of the
Yeah.
box.
The diesel is like, it's excruciating.
Yeah, they're all pretty slow. But I mean, it's a cool truck. I really like the ZR2. It's just like it's just not quick.
LT4 in the ZR2 or LT1 in the ZR2 even would be like game set match.
Be amazing. But just not to be. Anyway.
Nope.
No, maybe it's time.
Well.
Maybe it's time for like a Lightning or a Silverado SS to return.
Yeah, I was wondering why nobody ever does that. Like, it would be so easy to do lowering springs and the big engine,
street style,
and that's it. Yeah, I mean,
Right?
I don't know why nobody offers that. Even like a dealer should try doing that. Like,
Yeah, do the opposite. You see so many dealers that are just like rough country lift kit and 33s.
well, so Greg from Hooniverse is driven. There's a dealer in Georgia that's doing like a dealer option Lightning, isn't he?
Yeah, he drove
really?
the
Cool.
Lightning. It was a cool truck, but
And then he like went back through Google Maps to the airport where he did his donuts in, and the donuts are still on Google Maps from where he was like, "Wow."
that was
I
a
guess
cool
that's
truck.
fair. But yeah, those
that's
are
the only thing we've heard about. Like, there's no
You gotta make your
454 SS coming out that everyone can
No.
drool over.
right.
I do pass a blue X Runner like every other day though on my way to work.
Really?
Oh, they're so cool.
They're
What?
funny.
Well, you don't like
Cool?
the X Runner? You don't
No.
like what?
No.
Rear wheel drive, 6-speed, lowered Tacoma with an LSD.
Yeah, with like 13-inch wheels. They're not really 13 inches, but still, they're not.
They're little.
They're really small looking.
You don't see those very often.
Drift truck.
Yeah,
It's not a drift truck. They like that. Have you seen that engine? Like,
If the
Yeah,
tires
but
are
it is
bald
like-
enough, anything's a drift truck.
80 PSI is all you need.
valid point. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
That like 2007 to like what 12. No,
If they even sold it that long. I like them. I don't know. I think they're cool.
when did you graduate high school?
No comment.
Exactly. Like, is this the truck in your wheelhouse for high school? Like that's
That's
the analogy I'm trying to equate here is like
I graduated in 2009, so I'm trying to think of the cool truck when I was in high school. No, I mean, I can't. I don't know. I just remember in high school the disappointment being the Silverado SS. That was like as underwhelming as underwhelming got.
And when 2000 like 2006.
I don't even think they made the SS. Did they make it even into 2000? I thought it was like
Yes.
04,
Really?
03, 04.
Yeah, there's an 06 version too.
What? Wow.
I don't know. The SRT10 Ram was on sale then too. So
See, is this the TRX just a version? Like Ram, I think would be the ones who's going to do it. Like if somebody's going to bring us back one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But no, the marketing makes it seem pretty clear that it's like a Ford Raptor kind of truck, not a street truck.
Well, the teaser was just a cloud of dust, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Like-
all the TRX concepts have been like off-roady looking.
yeah.
I kind of hope that it was like a Jeep Renegade and they're just whipping donuts around and we just won't know because it's a cloud of dust and who can tell.
Okay, two things. First of all, somebody commented, I think the comment was, doesn't TRX sound like the new hot Acura? And I was like, oh shit, actually kind of TR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that ends 3 letters and ends in X.
Similar letters.
And then, did you guys see today's Dodge thing? Whatever it was, the 8,900 horsepower of whatever.
No.
About a Ram?
No, it's about their like 2021 quote unquote performance lineup.
For Dodge?
Yeah, and it just had, or maybe it was SRT, but it was extremely vague.
Oh yeah, 8,950 horsepower lineup. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that excited about these like
right.
teasers.
It's like if you took like Chevy's horsepower and just added it all up. Okay, awesome.
Let freedom rev. Okay, now I see what you're talking about.
It says let freedom rev. Oh no.
Yes, it does. This is freaking ridiculous. No. Yeah, I mean, we get it. The SRT makes cars with a ton of horsepower.
This reminds me of the Dodge ads where the Colonial Army with the British and Challengers and Chargers instead.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the Challenger is still a very cool car, I think. But
I've never got into the body style.
Oh God, really? Oh, it's so good. I love it.
I think it's just growing up in the 80s and the 90s. Like all of the muscle car era stuff was what my dad and his buddies wanted. Mm-hmm. So it's just a modern. I know they are good and I know they're fast. It just doesn't. There's no fizz to me.
Not into it. That's fair.
But like, I kind of like the Charger Hellcat. Like, I think that's a huge back seat. Like but the Charger to me has never looked like what the Chargers of old was. It was just kind of
not even close.
It's a very modern looking car. Yeah.
And the Challenger looks more like the old Charger.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I had a Challenger. I don't miss it.
You also had a Corvette.
Don't miss it.
Then seen a theme.
There are very few vehicles I've owned that I do miss.
Yeah, once I get rid of stuff, it's really hard for me to sell vehicles. Like almost physically impossible. But then once they're gone, I usually kind of get over it.
How many do you currently own?
5.
5?
That's a number. That's a lot.
I think I only knew of 3.
Yeah, I have 4 cars and a motorcycle. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, it sort of counts.
So I've only missed one that's large enough to notice. I don't count motorcycles. Yeah. I'm not a 2-wheel guy. Ross can talk motorcycles all day for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not super. I go through like bike phases. I haven't ridden the bike I still own since 2015, but I do have it.
So I know Montero.
Yep.
I know Scout.
Yep.
I know 300.
Yeah, I've got a first gen 300ZX, and I've got a 05 Acura TL. It's like a get around car.
Is the ZX, is it a Datsun or a Nissan?
So I have an 84, and it was the 1 year it was both.
Okay.
It was both. Yeah, it has Datsun and Nissan on the back. And yeah, that was their transition year. So a bunch of vehicles were badged as both, and like the marketing pitch was like, the name is Nissan. So it was
well, that's pretty much when the switch happened, right? Yeah, like we were out of Datsun. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's rad as hell. Yeah, that's rad.
But yeah, it's pretty funny.
I did not even know that was a thing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I didn't either until I saw the trunk of this car, and I was like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah, when I worked at the company that let me know way too much about pickup truck parks, we also had a brand that was dedicated to first generation Mazda RX-7s.
Cool.
And Z cars. And the name was not good. They called it Black Dragon Automotive. What is happening?
Oh God.
And it was right at the time it was right at the time the Gold Dragon Jeep came out too, and I was like, I'm just stuck in all kinds of horrible misery.
I saw one of those last week.
Really?
So bad. Yeah, it's so bad.
Pretty wacky.
I just remember Farrah going, it's the most racist car on sale today. I was like, oh, God, it's so bad.
It's not great.
Thankfully, no longer on sale.
Yeah, that one didn't last, huh? Shocker.
I saw one on the road recently, too.
Hard to miss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's black and gold all at the same time.
It's like the worst.
All right.
Trans
Do we want to
Am
talk about
ever.
this Everest with the Raptor front end, or do you want to skip it?
I'm gonna have nightmares about this thing.
It's not great.
Is it like a like a Ranger Raptor, or
It's a Ford Everest, and they basically just grafted on the front fascia of a Raptor to it, and so
let's see.
I can't get the.
I didn't see this earlier. I'm trying to find a pic because I've seen Everests with like Ranger Raptor front ends, and it doesn't look bad.
Let me copy it out. How the heck did I find this before?
So head
Really
on,
weird
it
page.
just looks like a Raptor, and then
yeah, it seems like it'd be a little weird looking.
Yeah, head on, it looks like a Raptor, and as soon as you get to the profile shot, you're like, wait a minute.
Right.
the grill is like 25% too big proportionally for the actual Everest.
Got it. Yeah, that sounds a little wacky.
It's
And
scary.
They put some like giant wheels on it too. So
Yeah, it's like 22s on 33s. It's questionable combo.
yeah, I'm gonna have to try and find the post just to drop in.
I can imagine.
I can probably try to. I don't know. I'm scared that clicking this picture is gonna haunt my computer forever.
Well, for whatever reason, I'm stuck in mobile Facebook on my computer that I'm sitting at home watching. Like it's got the .m in front of it, or the m dot. Okay, there's a larger image. I'm kidding.
Yep. Save as webpage. Nope. Not going to do that. It's not good.
It's in Thailand. That's the one part I couldn't remember, which is kind of funny.
I think I know it's a big Ranger market. They might build them there. I'm trying to remember.
The Everest? I think that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
I think we discussed that with we have a contributor to Hooniverse who's in Australia, and I think Joel discussed that. Thailand makes a lot of stuff that I don't think we realize that Thailand does.
Yeah. He's also seen the current gen Ranger for the better part of 10 years now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he's super excited about it.
I finally drove a Ranger for the first time last week.
How are the seats?
And?
Fine. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. Everyone complains about it being underpowered, which I didn't find to be the case. The turning rate.
EcoBoost?
Yeah, it's a 2.3 liter turbo 4. I think it's like 270 horsepower, something like that.
That's what my V8 4Runner's making, or should it be making?
When it was new. Wait.
Right.
So that's the same engine that is like Focus RS and
I think so. There's probably it probably has like a different tune or head or something on it. But yeah, I think it is fundamentally the same. I think it is fundamentally the same.
Block probably.
At least, yeah. So you would think there would be like aftermarket potential there.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't heard a ton about that.
What were you saying about the turning radius?
Oh, it's terrible.
Really?
Yeah, it drives it drives large. And the steering is very like numb and sloppy, but
so it feels kind of like old school almost.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not bad. I'd rock it. I had a Lariat, which is the like nicer one. But yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Glowing review.
Yeah, I would recommend getting the super cab with a longer bed because the rear seat is like, even with the 4-door, the back seat is so small.
Yeah, that's the catch for all the midsize pickups.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the Colorado is probably the most usable of them all. Even, I mean, the Tacoma's back seat on the 4-door you're sitting like super upright and super, your knees are up and everything. It's weird. I don't remember.
That's the same engine that's in a Mustang.
The performance.
The EcoBoost Mustang.
The EcoBoost.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm not going to lie. I really want to drive that performance pack, like, PP1 equipped EcoBoost Mustang.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I haven't driven that myself.
I do really want to drive that car.
It might be good.
It's probably fun.
Can we lift it?
Dude.
I haven't seen any Safari Mustangs yet.
Wait.
There's
that movie where Pierce Brosnan has one.
Oh, that's a 6x6, isn't it?
Maybe.
I think it is. Oh, I feel like
I think it's a Mustang. That was like, yeah, it was a Mustang before. That was like before Safari vehicles were cool.
and it was like convertible, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't a 6x6. There was a Jeep in it too.
Maybe.
There's like a YJ Jeep that's a 6x6, and then they leave in the Safari Mustang.
Yeah.
What movie is this?
The Thomas Crown Affair.
Yeah, it's a remake of the Thomas Crown Affair, or like one of several remakes.
If you watch it, you're gonna have an attraction to Rene Rousseau for a while. It's kind of gonna happen.
All I remember is the car movie. It's been so long. But yeah, I remember being like, "Whoa, that's really cool," and then forgetting about it until recently when like Safari cars came back. I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
This thing? Oh, that thing's awesome.
Yeah.
Light bar up, like Casey lights up top.
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing. It's so good.
I've seen pictures of this for years and never knew what it was from. So thank you. I have a movie
it
to
says
watch
it's a
this weekend.
GT350 on the side of it. So
Yeah, who the hell knows? I mean, I assume it was just a kit car that they hacked up for
Right.
purposes.
Right.
But yeah, I'm looking at a cool Ford's article on it right now. I'm sure they have like some
Cool Fords. I can hear the sounds of the tires rubbing the fenders.
I know.
Yeah,
it's probably terrible.
Oh, man.
Oh well, it looks cool.
It does.
dude,
look
that
cool.
YJ behind it with the 6x6 is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking at this now too.
YJs are kind of underappreciated, just saying. They're terrible. They're horrible, but everybody shits on, square headlight Jeeps. They're kind of awesome.
Yeah, they're not bad.
I'm also biased. That's why I'm into cars.
Right on.
But
yeah, I like that. I like anything with 6 wheels.
Sure. No, YJs are kind of cool. They're not like as cheap as you would think either. Like
no,
Jeep is.
because
No Jeep
all
is,
of them, all of the YJs that are, 80% of the YJs in existence have like corroded into the earth.
right.
And all the good ones, people are just asking crazy amounts of money for.
Because they did a lot of work to it.
Such is
Yeah.
the way with everything. It seems like.
Yeah. The Northeast is like,
That's why I never sell any of my cars.
Same as the Land Cruiser tax. Like
now that's a different world.
it is, but it's the same. Like if you can find like that one Jeff found today, it was super clean. They wanted $12,000.
I was looking at FJ Cruisers with like 85,000 miles for $12,000.
Right. It's a much more modern vehicle.
Yeah.
Yours will have proper airbags. Mine just says Land Cruiser on the steering wheel, so when I die, it'll be imprinted on my chest.
Well, at least there's that.
All right,
So,
you want to tell us
moving
about your
on.
cargo box?
Sure. So
Yeah, I like that you haven't dropped any pictures into this, so Andrew can understand.
Sounds like he's been waiting on this.
So
yeah. So
Ross
I'll
installed
drop
a
some pictures.
hitch on the
Okay.
Miata.
Yep.
Okay, trailer hitch. Okay.
So I went from
To what end?
not a good one. So no. So the hitch is fine.
Okay.
The intent with the hitch was so that I could basically carry beach chairs, because
Okay.
even though we have a perfectly capable and practical and way under the lease mileage CX-5 in our household, brilliant idea is to
Because the answer is always Miata.
the answer is always Miata, and holding out hope that some kind of even like overnight vacation happens this summer. I was like, wow, roadster, beach trips, of course, carry beach chairs. You need something to carry with. So I put a hitch on the car, which was, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And then the next step was figure out how to carry the beach chairs, which led me down the Facebook marketplace rabbit hole.
God, that thing is so big.
So careful with the phrasing. So I picked this thing up on Sunday
Oh, here we go. Okay.
on off of Facebook Marketplace, and it wasn't good. And yeah,
Is it called the Stowaway 2 because you can fit 2 bodies inside of it?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
so we'll have to put the visual in with the post.
carrying
Oh, they're already seen it.
But-
the way I'm
oh,
going
they
to
have?
edit this stuff up,
Okay.
they're already going to have seen
So
it.
it's a
I'm not making
hitch-mounted
that
cargo
joke until
box.
they see it.
Hitch-mounted cargo box that
Good
would
God.
have tripled the Miata's cargo volume and weighed probably 130 pounds and was like we got there to buy this thing, and you guys have bought stuff off Craigslist and Facebook and everything. And you get there and like you meet somebody, you can't get to the meetup and then back out after you've like gone so far down the commitment path.
Yes, you can.
You can, but like
yes, you can.
I know. You definitely can, but
well, it sounds like you didn't want to.
I didn't want to, so I bought it, and we had it in my wife's car, and like we drove home, and we put it on the Miata, and the second I put it on the Miata, I was like, this is absolutely terrible.
Did you have to fold down everything in the CX-5 to get it inside the CX-5?
Dude, it barely fit in the CX-5. That's how absurd this was.
The cargo volume of the CX-5 and strapped it to the back of the Miata.
Effectively, yeah.
It's not the worst idea for like. It just looks ridiculous.
It was so much. It weighed so much that it like literally was causing the back end to squat. So I listed it on Facebook Marketplace. No, I didn't scrape, except I park in this like. Chris, I've told you I park in the one spot in my complex that's like right by the gate. Nobody else can park in it because it's too tight. And when I went to back up and move forward because there's a drainage, like a runoff thing there, it's metal, like sparks everywhere. So I listed it on Facebook Marketplace on Sunday night and sold it on Monday during lunch.
There you go.
Sweet.
That's a nice looking Miata you got there, by the way.
Thank you. I am a week away from a year with it, which is
and turned a profit on the box, right?
Entered, $50 profit on the box.
There you go.
Did you spend $50 in gas to go get it?
Definitely not, but went to
it's a win.
Went to North Jersey to get it, so definitely spent $50 in tolls.
Forgot about that element.
But we got some good bagels in the process.
And probably some COVID.
I don't know. There's a lot of Lysol and a lot of mask wearing, so hopefully
fully
not.
On board with all this.
Hopefully not.
The crappy part is going to be when the three of us have to wear masks just to do a podcast.
God. Yeah.
Not that we ever spend too much time on the pandemic, but Kansas has been ordered to wear masks on Friday and out in public, and the responses on the internet have not gone well. The responses in public, I've seen drastically more people wearing masks, which is actually a very beneficial thing to it. But holy crap, people, what you write on the internet matters. We not seen people lose jobs lately for saying horrible things? Like, calm down.
Oh, dare we touch on today's questionable? No, we probably shouldn't. We should probably not.
I worked all day, so let's not.
Okay. Yeah, let's not.
I would like to keep working.
Moving on. But yeah, easy to be macho on the internet. So the Miata is back to
no box.
No box. And now I'm going to try to very small glove box. I'm going to try to find one of those like flat cargo carriers that weigh, like maybe 25 pounds, 20 pounds instead of 125 pounds. And then just strap the beach chairs to it with a bungee cord.
What you're looking for is the solution I'm going with Andrew, I ordered a Thule online and it arrived with a crack. I ordered a second Thule box and it was damaged before it even got to me. So, I've had to like pivot to my dad has a hitch mounted basket. And so it's literally what Ross is describing. It's literally just a tray with like maybe 2 inches of like metal around the outside. But then he spent a little extra and got like the frame that goes up a little bit. And I'm going to call it a water resistant bag that'll set down inside of it. And so like we can put the cooler and like maybe some of the more awkwardly sized, the stroller folds down pretty well, but it's kind of a weird shape. And so I'm definitely going to put it in that thing just so nobody's like punching it inside the car. So we're going to go to Colorado for a couple, 3 days, but just with 4 kids, any trip is an event, but that's my Band-Aid, because what I thought were these amazing cargo boxes that are rugged and tough cannot survive shipping to my house.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they're all just plastic at the end of the day.
It's true.
It's all ABS plastic, right?
Yeah.
That could be more a reflection of the shipping than the box itself, though.
Yeah, true.
I don't want to blame the company, but at the same time, I've ordered your product twice and I can't receive it. So
that's not ideal.
yeah. Anyway, so I did do work to the Sequoia, which of course, because we are car people, we have to immediately talk about when we start talking. So I'm going to tell it to you all again. I did front pads on the Sequoia. I did a new right front wheel bearing, and I'm weird. I don't let them just balance. I make them road force balance. I know I'm spending extra for something that I probably don't need, but I also feel like I can tell the difference.
You road force balanced the all-terrain tire?
No, they're Goodyear GSA.
Okay, I was going to say that's typically pretty challenging. But
Yeah, I won't. The KO2s
Yeah,
that are on the
about
lane.
33-inch KO2s trying to road force those.
No,
Good
just
God.
figure that out.
Yeah, nah. Yeah.
We're
Spend an
off-road. It's
hour
going to
per
rattle
tire.
anyway.
They'll get them close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What
but
ways?
when I picked it up today, the steering actually felt a little tighter overall, which was kind of nice because my one main complaint in that is the steering was loose compared to the 94 Land Cruiser, which is old and heavy and not light. So it's actually it's really nice. It's driving really well. So
Sweet.
just in time to get on the road and not do what it's supposed to, because that's what cars do.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to start? You want to start Scout, Montero? We can go back to the Z car because I still.
We got a lot of places to go here.
Yeah. What do you guys want to know about? I'm happy to answer any questions.
I mean,
all of it.
My main interests are the chasing Dakar and chasing Baja. Like,
oh yeah, okay.
Those
Also
are
that,
some
yeah.
dreams of mine.
Yeah, chasing Dakar. Yeah, so in 2015 I helped lead a trip, like a spectator crew, following the Dakar Rally in South America. So at that point, obviously, it was already in South America. That was like 2000. I want to say 9. They moved down there. 2009 or 2010.
Sounds about right.
That
Yeah,
neighborhood.
I think right around then.
I could Google it, but anyway.
I will for you.
Nice. So I actually, not to like waste too much time on backstory, but I used to be an off-road guide in Australia, and I worked for this guy, this Swedish guy named Magnus Eriksson, leading tours out there, and it was always his dream to go to Dakar and like see it and go wheeling down there. And so like I worked for him in 2011 in Australia, and we kept in touch. We're still buddies, and then. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna chase the Dakar Rally. We're gonna get a bunch of trucks, a bunch of motorbikes, and like, it's gonna be awesome. Like, I'll fly you down there. All you have to do is like, you buy your own beer, and you're like, just like back in the day, like you still gotta kind of help me run the trip and run the tour and like."
That's a great gig.
The bike's running. Yes, it was awesome. So I honestly forget. Patrick George was editor-in-chief of Jalopnik at the time, and I forget how I convinced him to like get a month off so I could go around in the desert. I can't remember. I think I was like, I don't know, maybe he was just like sympathetic because he knew I was going to go either way.
It's like, okay, Matt, you might as well make a story out of it.
Yeah. So so I get down there and we don't have we were supposed to have 2 Volkswagen Amaroks, like all kitted out, all terrain tires and like extra gear and shit. And we get down there and we've got one Sanyong rear drive on like cheap road tires. And I was like, what's going on, man?
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, it turned out that like the dude who we had rented the like off-road trucks from like flaked out and disappeared. And we had to scramble and get some random ass airport rental truck.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
This comes back to bite us later, believe it or not. So
little did you know.
the deal was there was people from all over the world that had paid us to like come in and ride rented Kawasaki KLRs.
Cool.
That's like, for those listening who are unfamiliar with bikes, that's just like a super stalwart, basic all-terrain motorcycle. It's not fast, but it's very hard to kill.
Were they 650s or were they?
I want to say 650. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I think so. Anyway, it's a typical like rental bike. It's a good all-rounder. They're cheap, easy to run, and easy to keep alive. Anyway, So we had a bunch of those, and we had this stupid fucking like Sanyong as our support car. And then we hired this guy down there named Sasha. He was our local fixer. So he spoke Spanish and among other useful tasks. And he had a 2-wheel drive diesel Ranger. So our support truck situation was pretty weak.
Yeah, it's not ideal for the conditions.
But basically, spectating the Dakar Rally is so challenging because obviously the distances are immense, and sometimes you can cut the racers off, and sometimes it's really difficult to go where they're going. And obviously, to get to a half decent spectator spot, you need some off-road capability. So we're balancing this crazy schedule and the logistics of having all these people out in the middle of nowhere, while also trying to be in the right place at the right time so we could actually watch the race.
Right.
When I was trying to search up questions for this, you took a picture of dudes in the back of a Raptor, and it looked like it was just bombing past everybody.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it looked hilarious. It was yeah, that's the solution. That's what you needed.
Yeah, that photo is from a place called Iquique. I might be pronouncing that right. Outside of city in Chile. And yeah, so obviously the Dakar racers would go through the sand pit, and in places that was near towns, locals would just flock, and it would be bedlam. People in the back of trucks, just going all. You couldn't tell who was racing and who was just trying to hang out. It got freaking
Did that
wild.
truck have stickers on it? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, God, we had.
So your local fixer, even though you had a local fixer, still.
Yeah, he had a crappy car too. Yeah, I'm trying to remember why he ended up in. I honestly don't even remember. It was that long ago. But we didn't have any mechanical issues with the bikes. We did have. So most of it when you're in that scenario and you have so many miles to do and kind of a mixed experience level of riders, we tried to stay away from the super technical off-road terrain and mostly did gravel roads, highway.
Yep.
But there was one section where we wanted to get people to this cool spot, and it was pretty deep sand. And riding a motorbike in sand is not that hard, but you sort of have to know how to do it.
Momentum.
Yeah, and you kind of stand up and steer with your feet. It's like skiing. So we had these, and the bikes were loaded with gear. So the people who were not used to riding in sand were really struggling.
This sounds like the trip where I would just drop the bike constantly.
Yeah, a lot of people were. So we were doing a combination of getting out, picking them up. One guy. We had this one guy who we were trying to basically teach him how to ride in the sand. And he kept falling over. It's oh man, he finally got it. And I was behind him in the truck. He's riding, and we're yeah, he's doing it. And his side pannier catches this tree, and we're just no.
Oh, God.
Rips all his cargo off. Just tumbles him down.
Wait, dude was trying to learn on the fly? Oh
yeah,
my God.
It was kind of nobody wants to ask for help because there's a lot of ego going on.
Pride,
so,
pride.
Yeah, so he's I know what I'm doing. We're just buddy. Anyway,
that's not the way I address automotive at all. I don't know what I'm doing at all. Who wants to help?
We ended up having to put his bike in the back of the truck, and since the cab was so loaded with gear, he had to sit next to it.
Oh no!
For just for a short way until we could get out of the deep stuff. But
there goes the ego.
Yeah,
but
man, and
but if you don't have straps and it's off road.
Yeah.
How often was the bike bumping into him in the back of the truck?
Yeah, so fortunately there was a pretty short distance that when we had to momentum through deep stuff with the truck, we had him get out.
Okay, good. Sorry, bud, you just became a pioneer.
God, then man,
that's just so bad.
There's so much. I know I've written this up, and it's it's a long. I'm trying to truncate the story as much as possible. But on the way out, we were like, we were hanging out. We finally made it out to the sand. We're watching the race cars go by. We're like, oh, it was cool. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here and we'll go camp to the next spot. And as we're picking our way out slowly, we realized the race wasn't over. There were still race cars coming through.
Oh. So you're on the course?
Yeah, we're on the freaking course. Dude, we only went out because we saw some sweep car. There was some reason we figured it was like safe to go back. But,
Jesus Christ.
So a random car went by with like flashing yellows, and you were like, "Yeah, that's the end, right?"
Yeah, and so we're just like, just trying to keep track of like 12 dudes and a few people like randomly scattered while the race is going on. It was the thing. It was slow and sketchy going for a while there.
When you guys were at spectating points, were you guys evaluating trees the same way like rally spectators evaluate trees? Like, all right, that's at least a 60-mile-an-hour tree. Like, is it, or is the geography different enough down there that's harder? Like, I don't.
The spots I remember spectating was pretty open.
Okay.
There was one where the one I was just describing was like a dry riverbed, and so they were kind of racing through like a wash. But there weren't a lot of trees to hit in that particular spot. But
see, that makes me
have tree will hit tree.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
The trees.
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen for sure. But God, we did so many miles. I want to say because the race that year was probably around 5,000. God, I don't want to say number because I honestly don't remember. I have it written down somewhere, but I mean, it was a month of like just hours and hours in the car, and like because you can't travel with that many vehicles and not have like an issue pretty much every day, whether it's just whether it's a flat or like a chain breaks or it's just like so everything takes longer than you want it to take. And,
part of the adventure, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like, South America's not really that densely populated, is it? Like,
no, I mean, they have, no, of course. There are big deserts, Atacama Desert, and like, there's big tracts of nothing, and that's where you go car racing. Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah. But, so
can't pop into the Holiday Inn Express that night.
No, I would definitely recommend traveling with a smaller group if you get the chance.
12 people is a lot of people off-road.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot. It's
like, even on a slow trail run, 6 and you're it's a lot. 12's a ton.
We had and we had to cross like 4 or 5 borders, and it was like BS every time too.
12 people?
Because somebody didn't have their thing, and
somebody checked the wrong box.
Yeah, so not to like talk too much about Dakar 2015, but we'll just end with we had a guy and his son was one of the groups, and we were crossing from Argentina over to Chile. And apparently to cross, for a parent and a child to cross that particular border, you needed like a signed document from the other parent saying it was like, okay. So
like a waiver?
Basically, yeah. Like
on a field trip or something?
Like, you're not stealing my child.
Yeah. So these guys didn't have it. And so we're trying to like we had our guy Sasha who spoke Spanish. I speak like a few words, and between all of us, we were like trying to sort it out. And they were like, no, these guys, these two can't cross. So what ended up happening was the man and his son got detained at this border crossing in the middle of freaking nowhere. And they weren't like prisoners, but the only place they had for them to stay was like a detention cell essentially. So these guys spent like 24 hours there until they could get like a document. Like,
did they have to like fax it in?
Yeah, they had to, because they had to wait for us to like get out somewhere so we could contact the mom.
His wife.
And then like, yeah, they went through. At that point, like we were like,
yes,
hey man, we're just tour guides. Like this is on you.
Oh no.
Oh my! They wouldn't let them just go back.
No, they had to. Well, they had no way to get back because they had no vehicle. Because we had to like. They
were just
keep everything together.
Ride,
They were on the ride. They were riding in one of the trucks. So they were like, we can't leave we can't take the rest of the crew back. It was the whole thing. We didn't see them again until like days later because they ended up getting a ride with like some other car going the other way. It was, God.
Wow.
So that's one of the things, like traveling Central and South America. Like I would love to go do that, but border crossings
You
just make me so nervous.
Yeah, you just got to do your research and be patient is
Mhm.
like what it comes down to. I mean, it was fine most of the time. It's just, yeah, you gotta make sure all your documents are in order.
Mhm. Yeah.
What if you like
photocopy everything?
they didn't try that? Like, I'm sorry, his mother's dead. Like,
No, they didn't. No, I forget why we didn't get more creative, but for whatever reason,
because it's a border cross point with border guards and
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think at a certain point, it was like they had already. Yeah, by the time they thought of doing stuff like that, they had already like committed to the truth, I guess. So,
You get caught off guard. You're not backing up on that.
yeah, so that was a whole freaking thing. But otherwise,
you kind of have to wonder, like,
fine.
does $20 get you out of that? Like,
Yeah, sometimes it depends. We I mean, you can definitely you can use your international driving permit to get out of license fines sometimes. If like I got stopped in Chile and he was like, finally, he didn't really speak English and I didn't really speak Spanish. And finally, he was like, let me see your license. And I showed him my international driving permit, which is just like a crappy piece of paper from AAA.
From AAA.
And he was like, all right, whatever. Like, I don't want to deal with this bullshit. Like,
Right.
see ya. I was like,
It's like, I'm going to have to spend 3 hours doing paperwork. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Just kind of let it slide.
We lived in Bangkok when I was a kid. And my dad tells a story about, so while we were there, we had a driver for most of the time because Bangkok traffic is just the worst. But on the weekends, my dad would take the car out sometimes. And one day he got pulled over and he understood that was part of the process.
Okay.
And he reached into his wallet. And at the time, he literally had $5 or $200. And he was still kind of deciding at about the time the cop got to the window. And the cop just reached in and grabbed the $5 and turned around and walked away.
Nice.
All right. He was reasonable.
Yeah,
exactly. Dad was like, he was really happy with that cop that day.
Yeah,
and there was no
really
conversation, no nothing. Like, just the money was presented. He was still deciding. Like, it was almost in front of him. He just reached in and grabbed it. Like,
good deal.
So, yeah.
I don't know if that story's true or not. I was 4.
Well,
it was $1 or $5.
right. Yeah.
That could have also been the case.
Yeah.
That's
So
also
he
he generally tells that story and then tells another one where he knew he had to change how he reacted in traffic because somebody honked and from the backseat I yelled, "Blow it out your little brown ear." And he was like, okay, so this is, we need to start taking things.
Yeah.
That is super, not racist. Like, definitely understood. Like, this is also like 1984. So it's been quite a while.
Oh, man.
Turns out 4-year-old Chris, super racist. We had to figure some things
Yeah,
out.
we're going to skirt over that one.
I was 4. What did I know?
Yeah.
Say most
Not
toddlers
much.
are pretty raw in their emotions. So
Yeah, that's true. I apparently told a guy to fuck off at Pocono at a race when I was like 4 years old. So
yeah, see, exactly.
Yeah.
He probably smiled at you too, and you were like, "Nope, I'm going this way."
I think my dad's story is he insulted me for liking Jeff Gordon, and I told him to fuck off.
Well,
So I thought it was reasonable.
And
That's fun,
if you're at a NASCAR race, yeah, that's a solid thing to do. Like,
seems
right?
standard. Nobody. insulted me.
Anyways,
That took a turn I didn't
that
expect
took
us
a
to take
fucking
tonight.
weird turn. Seriously. Anyways,
Let's take a turn
Wow.
into the Montero then, because it's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Monteros are good. Yeah,
So we've heard.
So I only ended up when I had a major off-road accident in 2018 and couldn't like use both hands for a while. So I had to get an automatic to get around. And I'd already owned a 4Runner. I was looking for something halfway interesting to get as an auto. And
I'm totally going to interrupt. Did you have an XJ2 at one point?
No, I never did. I never had an XJ.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the 4Runner.
Yeah, I had a 96 4Runner briefly, which was good. But yeah, so I was like looking for interesting, and then I just fell in love with like the fender flares and just the way the Montero looked, and then I realized they had a lot of cool features. Like they had a air locker stock.
Really?
Yeah, which is super cool. Gigantic sunroof.
Why am I just learning about factory air locker on a Montero?
It's a super cool truck. So
Does yours
I was
have
like,
the pitch and yaw stuff in the center dash? Like,
no, so only the early ones had that. I actually have it here.
yeah,
From
So that's what that is?
Is that the spare?
Because I pulled that thinking I was going to put it in my truck, but mine has like a voltmeter and an oil pressure gauge, and I actually realized like that's like more useful. Than
That is way more useful.
because this is just like decorative. It just bounces all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'll know if you're at the point when
Yeah,
about to
totally.
flop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I have a bunch of aftermarket ones around here somewhere, but I haven't found one that like looks quite right in the cab. But yeah, I ended up like the Montero. So I have a second gen, and the second gens to get are like 98 or 99 because that's when they have the fender flares and the rear locker.
Okay.
The 2000 had the flares but no locker, and the 92 to 97 doesn't have the flares and a slightly different engine. So
good overlap.
99s,
Yeah, good overlap.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one to get. And I actually found it on Craigslist out in like this desert town called Marietta, and I was out with my wife in Palm Springs. We had a Range Rover Sport SVR.
Oh wow!
As a car, like we were just buzzing around, and the guy texted me back, and he's like, "Yeah, come see it." So I had to like park around the block because I didn't want him.
Yeah, you can't walk up and walk
out. He hears you coming, and you park around the side, like,
But
yeah, those are not quiet.
No.
Yeah. So I rolled up, and it was like. It was it's kind of aesthetically like whatever, but the interior was really not, like the paint is kind of shot, but the interior is in pretty good shape, and the dude was like really mechanically inclined. So a lot of stuff had been done recently, and like everything had been lubricated, and I was like, all right, this seems legit. I ended up buying it for $3,500.
Nice.
And then selling this like desert bumper he made that I didn't care for. And the roof rack he had on it I think I got I basically got $400 for like the stuff I sold off it. So then it was down to like $3,100. And
that's cheaper than what Jeff spent on his Montero.
I think that's cheaper than what Jeff spent on fixing his Montero.
Oh yeah,
everything is.
He's thrown a lot of money in his. Mine's been pretty good mechanically. The radiator had like a JB Welds situation going on top, so I just it was
replaced it.
Yeah, I didn't trust that. So a buddy of mine, another Montero friend, was upgrading to like this big ass aluminum radiator, and he sold me his like record OEM one because you don't want a plastic one either. You want like a factory metal one. But yeah, you don't want to mess around with radiators if you're going to the desert.
That's also accurate for 80 series Land Cruisers too. You want You want the old metal ones. You don't want the new plastic one.
Yeah. You want to rebuild. For those listening at home, if you have the choice, you want a rebuilt metal one, not a new plastic one.
Especially because there's got a release valve at the top, and if it's the plastic one, that piece just snaps all the time. And you just leak coolant.
That's no good at all. But yeah, I haven't really. When I brought it in, I got all new fluids. There's this guy named Chai up in Van Nuys, like just north of LA, who's like a Mitsubishi guru, and he went through it. He was like, "No, you're good. Just replace stuff as it breaks."
Is it a V6?
Yeah, V6, 3.5 liter single overhead V6.
And obviously it's the auto.
They built those engines forever, didn't they?
Yeah, that's pretty ubiquitous. They're pretty common. It's in a lot of stuff. And then it's just got a Toyota transmission, actually, Toyota 4-speed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's like pretty easy to replace.
Yeah. Is that the same 4-speed that was in the 4Runner for
I don't know. I'm not
ever?
Sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe. I honestly am not sure.
Even so, Toyota transmission.
But yeah, it's like it's like AT. Fuck, what is it called?
AT fuck.
I guess AC makes it. It's probably not.
Okay.
But, I don't remember. Shoot. But anyway, yeah, it's a pretty standard 4-speed. What else? Yeah, I put wheels and tires on it. I wanted to get 16-inch wheels because a common upgrade is to like put bigger brake rotors from the Montero Sport onto this, and you need 16 wheels to fit that. But when I changed, so I bought it with BFG KO2 tires on it, which are good but really heavy.
Right.
And when he had like 33s. So when I switched from that to like a Cooper 31, and
AT3s.
Yeah, and that with a lightweight wheel that I got, I have these Koenig wheels that are like less than 20 pounds. Like I had taken out so much unsprung weight and rotational mass that like the braking is fine. So I'm like, oh,
don't need the better rotors.
Yeah. So I realized I didn't need, but next time I get rotors, I'll probably get the bigger ones. But yeah, so the lighter wheel really like helped, and then losing the roof rack helped with aero. Putting the factory bumper helped with aero. So I can get 20 miles per gallon out of it if I'm gentle.
Wow.
That's actually really solid.
Yeah, for a late 90s 7-passenger SUV. It's
seriously.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
So I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, I just got fresh filters and like it's got Bilstein 5100 shocks and old man Emu springs. So it's got a little bit
that's like
a little high, but it's
classic
perfect.
like fail-proof setup.
Yeah, it's super I'd like to put some more lights on it at some point, but otherwise it's good, man. I'm pretty
like when I bought my 4th gen 4Runner, it had 5100s and LMEs.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great setup. Some people don't like them because they're pretty soft, but I dig it.
Oh God, yeah.
I like the ride. I like the soft ride.
Yeah, it doesn't suck. Like people shit on it, but soft is not that.
No, it's good for that. If I let the air pressure down on the tires, it's just like floats if I go nice and slow. So it's good. And the only other major mod is the previous owner like started this like sleeping platform setup, but it would like kind of suck. So I just like made some improvements and like so now basically when I fold the third row is deleted, and when I fold the second row down, I've got this like tray that folds out. So I've got a sleeping platform, but I've also got cargo underneath.
Nice.
So if it's just my wife and I, like we can easily have all our crap underneath and sleep on the top and like have a very self-contained like vehicle. And
so
it's super
when the sleeping platform's deployed, the second row is just folded flat?
Yeah. So you can drive it like that too, because the front seats are whatever. But
that's the best setup.
But yeah, you can only have 2 people in it if you're gonna have.
It's the platform I built to use in the Land Cruiser when I like single camp in it. I have to like pull the second row seat completely out because it doesn't.
Oh really?
They don't fold flat,
right?
And so there's there's a footwell for the second row basically. So I built a platform that just creates a flat space from the tailgate to the and it's like 6'6". And I'm 6'4", so
geez, yeah,
it's
just
and
fit.
Head at the tailgate because otherwise the blood's rushing to your head if you sleep the other way because there's a little rake to the.
Yeah,
I haven't tried it since I put the new Davidson springs on it, but
mine's still a little janky. Like I have these 2 milk crates that I put in the second row wells to like flatten it all out. But I mean it works. It works.
If it works, it works. It doesn't matter.
It's at the level of. Like people keep telling me like, oh, you got to get the goose gear. Like I'm just like, I'm not trying to.
No.
Pay. Yeah, like I
get
it.
$1,500 on drawers and a platform.
Yeah,
I think you're super low on $1,500 there.
Yeah, really? Yeah,
really?
Right.
Yeah, maybe for the Land Cruiser when I look at stuff, it's like I feel like all of a sudden I'm at $3,500 or $5,000. Like Goose Gear's proud of their stuff. It's awesome.
It's good shit, but yeah, I mean, if you got the money, man. Cool, but I don't.
Like all the dudes that I follow on Instagram, and they're like, "All right, we'll just put in the Goose Gear." And I'm like, "Jesus, how do I get sponsored on this shit?" Like,
that dude's cool. I went down there before the pandemic. I was going to let him use my truck to like make a 2nd gen Montero measurement, but then COVID happened, and I'm like, we haven't.
Maybe please don't poke around all of my truck.
It's just like.
One of them's literally titled Brian's favorite package for 4Runners 5th gen, and it's from $3,495. So when you see from,
that's what my 4th gen 4Runner cost.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
it's a 5th gen. Sorry.
Gen. Sorry.
I'm not necessarily against like spending more in mods than your truck costs, but I mean, I don't know. It's a choice.
I feel like
I've got $2,000 worth of wheels and tires on a $3,100 truck. So.
Yeah,
whatever.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I feel like
In some capacity, maybe
Yeah.
not wheels and tires, but in some capacity.
there's an old school skiing ad that you see all the time where like the skis are more than the vehicle, and it's always like
Yeah.
some sweet classic.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I gotta find that one now.
Yeah. I know some people who roll like that for sure. It's all good.
Oh, man. So many of the the ATV world, UTV world, you have guys showing up with like 2002 Silverados or like, second gen Ford Rangers, and they have like $25,000 like fucking, Mavericks and
Brand new Razor
X3s. Oh God.
Yeah. I mean,
so weird.
it's not a bad way to use your money. You definitely get a lot of capability that way, but yeah, it just depends on what your priorities are.
Yeah, I use it like once every 2 months. It's
Yeah,
like, oh
right.
God, your truck's got an exhaust leak and it sounds like it's going to
Die.
blow up as you accelerate out of the parking lot, but that's a nice Razor. Oh man. Also, just for reference, I opened up Craigslist in the Northeast, or at least in the like greater New York City area, to see if there's any 98 or 99 Monteros. There are exactly 0.
Yeah, they're hard to find. I'm not going to like take credit for increasing their popularity, but I've definitely done a lot of Montero blogs. And
between you, Jeff,
oh yeah,
Farah has a Delica. Like
that's right. Yeah,
and Lynn's got a couple, right?
Got a Montero. Yeah.
Future guest Lynn Woodward.
Yeah, she's great. She has one also. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Does anyone else have one? Not that I can think of, but yeah, I mean, they're. I definitely wouldn't sell mine for what I paid for it. No way. So
no, not now.
By that measure.
now it has prominence.
Oh God, this one is so sketchy. Oh God, some of these are so sketchy. Oh yeah, no, time to close Craigslist.
So
not good. It's not good.
Close to me. I found a 2001 for $4,950 and a 2002 for $3,500.
The third gens are kind of cool, but they're not as like. I don't know. They don't look like old school SUV.
It looked like somebody stuck an air hose in them when you, and then that was it.
Well, and
they can be capable, but
the first picture I saw with the rear door open, there is a lot of rust down near that wheel well coming up.
Ones in the Northeast. My wife really wants to move back to New York, and if we do, I'm going to be like super goofy because I'm going to have this SUV that I don't drive in the winter.
Doing the opposite.
You're going to need
a rear-wheel drive beater.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's going to be looking at you like, didn't you spend like $3,000 on that? Isn't that the winter beater? Like,
no, damn it.
Shit.
It's going in my museum.
Oh, your museum.
But yeah,
be one of the few.
Yeah, I want to do. I put this giant like Mitsubishi emblem on the side, and I want to do some more stripes to kind of have like a tuner car / Overlands rally car build.
Hero Evo vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be cool.
It looks like you got a good collection of stickers on the rear window. Are those still there?
No, those were the previous owners. So I left them on there for a while because I had been to all the same places, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. And then I got bored of them and cut them off.
Is there a big KC sticker in the middle of it?
I'm trying to remember.
That can't be for Kansas City. That's nobody comes here.
Oh, Kings Canyon.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, Kings Canyon.
Not quite.
I remember now. Yeah,
that's funny.
It's funny. I had because I can't get the stupid like blue soap off the tires, and people keep being like, "Oh, clean your tires off."
Oh, that stupid Cooper blue all over the white.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It took me 6 months to take the previous owner's bumper stickers off. Like I'm not I don't care.
It's like acetone or like paint thinner or something.
I'm not even. I can't be bothered.
So that's just something to remember. If you're a fan of the hashtag white letters out, if you buy the Coopers, they're not exactly white letters
it's
out.
blue letters out.
Yeah. Yeah, the tire dude, I think he might have asked, but I don't remember. I was just like, whatever, I don't know.
My guys asked, and I've never, I like the look of white letters out, but not on my own vehicles, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
They're like, what do you want? I'm like, no, blackout.
I kind of do like it for some reason. I don't know.
I'm into it. It's got like reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah.
You know? Like mid-90s, like early 90s, mid-90s was core, like BFG ATs with white letters out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so those KO2s that the truck came with, conveniently, they fit on my Scout, and the
Nice.
tires I had on the Scout were like cracked and terrifying. So I was like, perfect.
That worked well.
Yeah, it was awesome. The tire guy was really annoyed because I was like, okay, I want you to put these tires on these new wheels I got, and then these old tires on these old wheels. He was like, ugh.
Yeah, I can't just swap them from 1 to 1 on the wheels.
Yeah.
Did you only drive one of the vehicles to the place?
No, so I used a mobile tire installer.
Okay.
This guy, Andrew Cromery Picard, who's like a rally driver.
Yeah, ACP.
Yeah. He started this business called Zip Tire that does like mobile tire installation. And
I forgot about that.
and yeah, I get a deal on tires through the motoring club, this car club I'm in LA. And I was talking to him about something else, and he was like, "Oh, I'll beat the price." I was like, "Okay, come on out."
Sure.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't even have
And
to
I
like
don't-
prove
yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Don't have to go anywhere. You'll come to me.
Yeah, I think he was we ended up reviewing it for Jalopnik, and I think he was kind of like, he offered to do it for free, but I was like, nah, I can't. I got to get you guy paid.
it's not how journalists work.
Yeah, I'm not really allowed to take
Like
free
actual journalism.
shit. Yeah, unfortunately, I wish I could take more bribes, but
But that's not fair.
yeah,
Speaking of bribes,
yeah.
didn't you get to go to Africa?
Yeah, talk about bribes. Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah,
That's a bribe.
Yeah. I mean, the press launches are like, for whatever reason, just like industry standard. So we did for the Land Rover Defender launch. Yeah, that was right before. It's funny. I got to Namibia, South Africa and Namibia in February, and they were already testing for COVID at the airports there. And then when I got back, when I got back home, I like waltzed right through global entry. They didn't even.
Wow. I guess that's
how we know we had it way before then.
It was, it was 4 minutes from. I remember texting my wife from sitting in the jet to being on the.
Oof.
It was just like
being out by by taxis.
Yeah, and I
guess that was probably around when like the Italy like COVID boom happened, right before that.
Yeah, Italy was getting it pretty bad right around then. A friend of mine, Scott Brady from Overland Journal, stayed in Africa for a while, and then couldn't get home for a really long time, because by the time he was ready to leave, it was like a lot of stuff was shutting down.
Lockdown city.
Yeah.
So did he just like extend the vacation kind of thing?
Yeah. So it's funny. I kind of did the same thing. I
think everybody did, because Emmy Hall came and told the same story kind of thing.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's a freaking.
She extended it for a couple days too.
I mean, it was like a 40-hour trip or something. So
just to get there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No,
so I asked Land Rover. I was like, hey, can you make my Johannesburg layover like a week? And they were like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same price. So whatever.
Yeah.
Right. They're paying for the flights one way or the other.
So then I found the media contact for Toyota South Africa, and I was like, you guys got any Land Cruisers? And they did. They hooked me up with them. So I got a 79 series NAMIB truck, which was freaking amazing.
Awesome.
Of course you got something we don't get. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But it's funny. I only said Land Cruiser, and they were like, sure. And I didn't want to like push my luck, so I was like, okay, whatever it is great. And I get there, and it's like desert tan, ARB bumper, like lights, all-terrain tires. Like, hell yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted.
What you wanted.
Yeah. It's so freaking cool. I actually haven't published that story yet, but it's coming.
Isn't Alu-Cab from South Africa too? Like, could you have just like, you probably could have swung by and got an RTT for it too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, there are a bunch of good outfits down there. But no, I went up to this area in the northeastern corner of the country, like where Kruger National Park is.
Okay.
And it's definitely not like off-roading. It's not like hard. It's just dirt roads, but it's where all the animals are. So I have some amazing images of like elephants getting all.
Oh, really?
All close. Yeah.
I put in Kruger National Park, and the Google is like, yes, this is fantastic.
That's where the
giraffes.
Yeah, I did decide. I was like, do I want to go hardcore wheeling or see animals? And I picked animals because I was like,
I think that's a solid choice.
California. Yep. Yeah. I mean, we know the Cruiser's going to be good. Like, whatever.
Right.
When you're solo in Africa, I didn't want to do anything too crazy anyway. Cause like,
hello, Toyota.
Exactly.
Can you rescue me, please?
Yeah.
You had a cell signal.
Yeah, well, I traveled with, I had a spot. I had a Garmin InReach. Yeah, so I had a panic button,
emergency beacon.
Yeah, but I mean,
SOS.
I think it was you that said like the lowdown on InReach is like you can totally get super cheap refurbished ones online, right?
Yeah, I got a
really?
refurbished one. Yeah, it was like $200 for
and like the new ones are like 800.
Yeah, for the mid-range one, and obviously you still have to pay the normal rate for service.
Right,
but it's totally worth it.
Isn't that like you can turn it on and off, right? Like you don't have to constantly pay.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it's like, what did I pay? I think it's like $30 a month. So it's not cheap, but
if you activate it as needed, that's like totally reasonable.
And it was unreal. Like I could just text my wife from like the middle of freaking Africa. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it was just like, it was prepaid.
Oh shit.
So
okay. I'm adding that to my list.
Yeah.
Because some of our trips, we go up to like Maine and there's nothing. You couldn't get even service if you wanted. Like if you know.
Oh, actually, I have it right here. What a perfect prop. Yeah, so it's in a beer koozie.
It's in a koozie. That's perfect.
Yeah, and so this is the mid-range one. This is the SE Plus, and I was gonna get the Mini because it's cheapest, but the refurbished SE Plus was cheaper. So
it's cheaper than the Mini. Yeah.
Where exactly do you buy that?
Where the hell did I get it?
I think
Amazon or some shit.
Yeah, I think it was like
might have been Amazon.
You suggested it on. I want to say I saw it on like Twitter or something. You were talking about.
I tweeted about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I literally just did an Amazon search, and there were like 12.
Yeah.
Like all available.
But it worked amazing, and like it works with a web portal. So like I just had it tracking me, and then when my wife or like when my dad wanted to see where I was at, they just like opened up a browser and like it's password protected. So like. Only the people you want to track you.
It can't go wrong.
Tracking you anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and I mean,
right, Siri?
You can. Yeah, right. I mean, you can have it send like tweets and Facebook posts for you if you want. I was trying to go like a little bit more off the grid than that, but
suddenly the escape from everything is.
That's the part of Western Kansas that I enjoy the most. Is like I literally don't look at my phone for however many days. Oh,
dude, that's the best.
So it's such a tough balance, right? Because I 100% agree, and like I really want it to be like straight up dark. But after I had a huge crash, like knowing how bad things can go, like when you don't expect it to, it's like
how quickly they can go that way.
And like it's. Just knowing I had like a panic button, even if it would have cost me a fortune and like maybe it would have been a while before I got help, like it's better than shouting at the Monkees, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
shouting at the Monkees is a great rock band.
Yeah, it would be. But yeah, it's
a cover band. It's a cover band.
Yeah, I was obviously being conservative and safe, but like you just never know when something's gonna happen.
Peace of mind and like just that like knowledge of having a safety net is so huge when you're totally remote.
Yeah. And the nice thing about, so this one sends text messages and stuff too, like Bluetooth with my phone. So instead of just having a panic button, I can be like, oh, like got a flat tire. I'll be 2 hours late. Like don't send the cavalry.
Right.
Or whatever,
So the actual interface, you can actually just text through your phone. You don't have to like T9 it on the InReach.
I mean, if you don't have a phone, you can just, you can do this really crappy like T9 style thing. But if there's an app on my iPhone, so I can just like do it with that. I can just like texting normally.
Okay. I'm buying one before my next big trip.
I'm in the land of Garmin HQ. Like it's right down the street. Yeah. Like I feel like I need to know somebody that can hook this up.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Very cool.
Yeah, Garmin's what's up?
Garmin InReach, and it's almost industry standard for us at this point. Like I feel like everybody talks about it.
I know the Spot is still big. I used to use that one in Australia. But the Spot back then didn't have any kind of like phone. You could only say like, "Here's where I am," or "I'm in trouble." That was it. So
can we backtrack to Australia for a second?
Yeah, hell yeah, sure.
So you were guiding treks down there, but you kind of like you didn't gloss over, or you didn't say like there are motorcycle trips most of the time.
Yeah, it was. So it was motorcycle trips, and we would run with sometimes two, but usually one truck. We had this big like Isuzu cargo truck with like lockers and huge tires, and that would be like would carry food and fuel and water, lots of water, and would have a little pull-out kitchen, and we would so we would take anywhere from like one to how many was the most? I think like we had a 15-person group, but they would all be on bikes. And yeah, it was just me and this dude Magnus. So we would swap out. Like sometimes we'd have somebody riding on point, leading, and sometimes he'd be in the truck, like bringing up the rear, and I would do like the cooking, like late night mechanical fixes, and yeah, I would just hang out, do these big trips.
Sounds like a good excuse to go see shit.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's funny. I did that right after college. Right after college, I got this job that had like AmeriCorps educational benefits, and it was really near my parents' house. So I lived with my parents and was able to like pay down all my debt, because with a combination of factors of like no rent and whatnot.
That's awesome.
So I was sort of like, and then but all my friends were like not living at home anymore. So I was kind of like
The one guy.
Yeah, I was kind of like a wandering minstrel, like, and was like, oh, I want to do like, I knew I wanted to do off-road stuff. So I bought a like one-way ticket to Australia and got like a working visa, temporary working visa there. And like, oh, I'll see what's going on. And just worked a bunch of odd jobs, random jobs. Had briefly worked with this guy who was like an off-road instructor, but just, he didn't have use for me for very long. And yeah, I ended up meeting this dude, Magnus, in a bar, and we like hit it off. And he was like, yeah, I'm doing this motorcycle race. If you want to like be my pit support, you know, if we end up getting along, like I'll like come hang out for the rest of the year, and we'll do that. We'll take people on off-road tours. All right.
Twist my arm. Yeah.
Dude, the tour names are fantastic. Like Across Australia. Like,
Yeah.
Rock to Reef.
He sold the company. Yeah, are you looking at Outback Adventure Treks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sold the company, so he's not there anymore, but it's all the same stuff. Yeah, so it's,
Across the top, which that's my favorite thing, is they refer to the like we have the south, they have the top end.
That's
like
right. Yeah, the Canning stock route and all that up there.
Yeah,
it's an unreal country. I mean, you think Australia and just think a desert, but they really have
no, it's everything.
A lot of jungle and it's not particularly mountainous, but they have some hills.
Spend a lot of time on Google Maps with Street View.
Sure, yeah.
Does it kind of west of Sydney have a little bit of kind of almost like hills?
Yeah, there's some mountains there. Yeah, they go skiing and stuff, but they're not really there's no major mountains to like write home about.
Okay,
but
they've added an India tour.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Frick, I wanted to do that so badly, but it's unbelievably expensive.
On a Royal Enfield 500.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
They do the highest elevation like public road in the world, I think.
Is it really?
I think
shit.
so.
Oh man!
Highest elevation public road in the world is in India.
I think so. I think it's up in the Himalayas or towards that area.
Okay, that would make sense. Ride to the top of the world.
You ride it on
name
the
like
world's,
that. You would hope so.
The world's highest motorable.
Yeah.
That's hard to pronounce. Road in the Lakta region.
I think what elevation they're at down there, because I guess like it's because Pikes Peak is like 14,000, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this must be higher than that if it's.
Day 3, you get to 10,900.
Oh my god! Freaking
wow!
crazy. Yeah.
Holy
so
shit! $5,500. Yeah, that's not cheap.
Have not done India, but.
So on day 3 you get to 10,900, but there are peaks at 20,000 above you.
God.
There's
That's
another
wild.
day where you're at 13.6.
Probably making about 3 horsepower at that altitude too.
If that, yeah.
Better pack light.
Day
That's
11
why
you
there's
get
12
to
of you.
17,000.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Nuts.
And I'm just fantasizing.
That's the elevation in the Top Gear Atacama episodes. They're like, take your Viagra.
Yeah.
Let's not die. Which for them, it was just a dick joke, so they didn't really care.
Right. Yeah, no, altitude
Anything
will
for the
get you.
sake of dick joke.
Even like Colorado, Wyoming, when I get up there, the first day I'm always like, oh.
Yeah, just drink lots of water.
Kicks my butt.
It's why it always takes us an extra 2 hours to get there, because the kids start drinking waters about western Kansas, and they don't stop until we get there. But every 40 minutes, they're like, I got to pee again. I'm like, you don't have to drink 3 bottles in a row, man. Just one. But just about all of them have experienced altitude sickness at one point, and they all never want to do it again. So
it sucks.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, I can understand. But
okay, so you have enough experience. We have not talked about this segment of our show in a long time, but do you have any off-roading, overlanding hacks or tips that you would like to impart?
Let me think. Always bring more water than you think you need, like way more.
Definitely.
Good
Double.
one.
It's double.
Speaking of water, that's usually a good one.
That's why it's available in the car for them to drink, because we bring it.
I'm usually I would say like maybe start with less gear and just like start with good tires and see what you need before you like buy the whole catalog's worth of stuff.
Oh man,
load it onto your truck.
Tires actually affect so much more than you realize.
Oh yeah.
And that's I feel like that's in any realm of automotive. Like everyone's so dismissive of it, but track tires are off-road tires, it matters.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to set off on a trip on like crappy road tires or anything like that if you're going dirt. So yeah, I would make sure get a decent tire in a size that fits your rid and don't bring too much stuff the first time out.
You've now got me to a point where now I have to start thinking about tires, because my dad and I had planned a trip to go to Iceland in late October.
Sad.
He wanted to go see the Northern Lights. My mom had no desire, and I will absolutely go. And we had reached out to Arctic Trucks, and we were going to go on one of their tours. So staring down 44-inch Hilux.
Hell yeah.
Super excited. And Dad was like, hey.
And then you were going to come home and put them on the Sequoia.
Yeah, no, that was not what I was going to do. But he was like, hey, COVID's still an issue. Like, maybe we should hold off. And I was like, I'm not going to tell you no to that. Like,
health and safety over.
It'll still be there. It'll be there when you're ready.
But we had Zach Bowman on a couple weeks ago, and he told a amazing story about a snowstorm hitting him at the north rim of the Grand Canyon and hearing elk being hunted by wolves. And just, Dad was like, maybe we go there instead. And I was like, sure, we'll just take the Sequoia and maybe we'll rent like an overland trailer or something, because he's not really into camping. But I have GSAs on the Sequoia, and that's probably the best trailer pulling rig I have. So maybe I need to start.
I mean, it just depends on where you're going to go. If it's
I think they'll just be fire roads, basically. Like maybe instead of doing new rubber, I just look at like a set of Max tracks.
Yeah, I mean,
not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, some couple traction boards and like a shovel is probably fine.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't replace.
Really want to get stuck.
I wouldn't do brand new tires if like yours are not, if they're still got life in them.
Right, and especially if you're just going to do like 2-wheel drive roads, maybe with an occasional 4-wheel drive.
You're probably all right in that area.
Like I'm not going to go Rockwall, Moab. Oh man, I can't even talk. I'm not going to go Rockwall.
I guess bring some chains if it's going to get snowy up there, but otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know if we're still going to time it out for the same time of year or not. Since before, like it was like towards mid to late October, and I was like, well, it's definitely snow season. So.
Definitely.
Then again, it was in Iceland too, so.
Right. But the main overland hack is like don't overthink it early on. Just like go and then decide what you need, as opposed to stocking up and then being like trotting all your stuff.
Yeah, dude, we talk about this all the time. Like the Instagram scene has kind of like perpetuated this idea. You need to like get every single thing just to hit the trail the first time.
Yeah.
Like, no, the first time you go on the trail, you take your whatever, you go out and you find like the weakest point.
Yeah.
Which is usually tires. Yeah. Chris.
It's all right.
They have a lot of rubber on them. Like a lot.
It's all right.
So, all right. I think that's a really great spot to end the show. We went
right on.
super long tonight.
Oh yeah. 8:30.
I'm mad about it.
Woo.
Yeah. Poor Ross is on the East Coast. It's like midnight for him.
That's okay.
Time to cash in.
It is. It's been a long day.
Right on. Well, good talking to you guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Do you want to plug your stuff? Where can people find you?
Yeah, sure. I'm the Car Reviews Editor of Jalopnik, so you'll see my stuff there. On Twitter, it's just Andrew P. Collins, and my Insta is Andrew at Large. So hit me up. Come hang.
You had supercars recently, I saw.
Yeah. I'm road testing a DB11 AMR right now. It's a freaking awesome car.
It's the manual one, right?
No, that's auto. That's a Vantage you're thinking of. That still doesn't stick. No, this is an 8-speed auto, but it's still pretty.
Is it a ZF
nice.
box?
ZF,
yes, I think so.
Okay, then it's okay, probably.
But yeah, so yeah, went out with my motoring club friends, and most of them were like rich guys with like 911s and
like a 720S.
Yeah,
like
this dude with a 720. This guy
casual.
was like, yeah, casual. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, good thing you were leading, because like I was going so fast, it would have flown off the road." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
like maybe you need to get back your 720.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, keep an eye on that
continuing
GPS.
to live.
Yeah. 570 for you.
But
that's still not slow.
Still stupid.
But yeah,
fast.
Been doing some performance cars lately, which has been fun. Super
Very
sweet.
cool.
Yeah, driving the Vantage next week. Actually, they're swapping out the
so
for that. So
does that mean press cars have restarted out west? Like,
yeah, press cars are definitely back. We went cold turkey once the COVID stuff was going on because we didn't know what was happening. But the press fleets have been really good, really proactive about cleaning stuff and doing like a cleaning procedure. And we sort of decided as far as doing business, it's pretty low risk. Like driving by yourself in a car is pretty low risk. Yeah. So we decided it was okay to start up again.
Even if they clean it, you might just like wipe it down one more time.
We have like a whole procedure and everything, and like we do a touchless handoff where it's a little bit annoying, but it's
right. The best when I was getting work done on the Sequoia, like the dude held out a plastic bag at me and I dropped my keys in it.
Yeah, it's just like
okay.
Yeah, it's annoying, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So,
sweet.
Anyway, stay safe out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
But talk to you guys soon. See you on
Sounds
tour.
good.
All right, Andrew, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right, bye-bye.